They're very, very, very production literate.
Like, we got this breakdown. And he's going like, no, can you do this? And I'm like, yo, I wrote a different one.
Anything more than human. I guess is how you would. I guess that's what you call that song.
You see that Bad Omens track came out recently. I mean, congrats on that, because I mean, we love that band anyway, but it was a really nice fit, and I think fit your vibe as well. Like, again, just tell me a little bit about your experience of jumping on the drain there.
So that was one of the more, in terms of getting to work with a band. We've done so many collaborations at this stage, and the process has been incredibly varied. So sometimes, ideally, you'd always get at least a day together.
Right.
But sometimes you're based in completely different countries, schedules. We did obviously so much work. We didn't plan on doing 2 records worth of them, but then the pandemic continued, and it was a very viable way to stay creative. So we've done a lot where it's like all entirely remote. With the Drain, Noah and Jolly are based in, or I think Jolly maybe moved to Texas or something, but they're based in LA.
Yeah.
And they're, for being a band, they're very, very, very production literate. They produce all their own music and everything. And we kind of come from a very similar, very use computers, modern writing techniques. And so we didn't know them yet. And we got together and ended up, we met on neutral ground, which was like we rented a studio. And then we vibed in a way that felt comfortable, so then we ended up just going to their home studio and then got to do like several days and just hang out.
Amazing.
So that's definitely the ideal way to do a collaborative song.
We've got to mention that track with Bad Omens, because I loved that whole release. I loved that they were putting in loads and loads of different collabs. Like, it's such an interesting mix. Tell me about getting to work with those guys and getting up on that track.
Well, Noah just texted me. He hit me up. He got my number off a mutual friend of ours, and he said, "Hey, I'm Noah. Do you want to do a song together?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, what a nice surprise."
Yeah, we kind of just like sat in the studio, and then there was it's all super organic. Like, I think people think managers talk about this, but nine times out of 10, your manager doesn't know you've done the collab, so you're like...
We're like, Ian, you want to hear something really funny that we just did? And he's like, yeah, go on. Yeah, we got a song with Bad Omens. He's like, oh.
It was an interesting one for me, because like you were chatting to Noah, and I didn't know if we were at first seeing eye to eye on like where it should go. So I'm like slicing shit up, and like being like, we got this breakdown. And he's going like, no, can you do this? And I'm like, yo, I wrote a different one. It was quite...
Very back and forth.
It was quite a challenge. It was very back and forth. But like, why the hell would you go into a studio and collab with someone if you didn't want it to be like that?
Oh, absolutely. I do want to mention another piece of new music you had recently. Of course, you're working on that incredible Bad Omens project. Obviously, they just picked their collaborators so well on that, I think. It's a really, really nice mix. But yeah, for yourselves, tell me a little bit about getting to work with Noah and putting that track together.
Cover that one. Yeah, it was cool. We so I actually have lived with Noah until like next month.
Wow.
So him and I, and then Mike is also a writer on the song. We were trying, and Jolly, sorry. We were trying to make something for like the last couple of years.
Wow.
Pretty much what happens is we get into a room and just like come up with so many different ideas that don't pan out. So it's just like 7 riffs in a row. And nothing got completed. So we were like, all right, let's just get Dan Bronstein on the song so we can actually properly get it produced and get it finished.
Yeah.
So 5 of us got in a room, and after like 3 sessions, we made Anything More Than Human. I guess is how you would. I guess that's what you call that song.